Okay, hello everyone. Today we will see the new topic in Z transform, that is stability and causality. These two properties already you have seen in module 1 and 2 while dealing with the properties of system as well as while dealing with the convolution. Okay, there were certain conditions. Depending on those conditions, you used to say whether the system is stable and causal or not. Okay, so in terms of in relation to the Z transforms, what are the conditions on which we will say that the system is stable and causal? Let us see. Okay, if you just look at the screen. Okay, there are 3 points I have marked as star. So those three are causality, stability, and both together. So remember here, individually, whether the system is causal or not, we have certain condition. Individually, system is stable or not, we have certain condition. And together, causality and stability together also we have certain condition in case of Z transform. So let us look at the first condition, whether the system is causal or not. This you have seen already in case of convolution. I hope you remember this equation also. If your impulse response is 0, if your impulse response is 0 for n less than 0, that is left hand sided signal. Okay, if this condition is satisfied, it means that the system is causal. This you have already studied in convolution. But with respect to the Z transform, the condition for system to be causal is this: the ROC of H of Z, it is outside the outermost pole. Very first thing, you have already seen what is H of Z. H of Z is the system or the transfer function, which is the ratio of y by x, y by z, y of z by x of z, and you'll be having certain numerator and the denominator here. For this H of Z, you will have certain ROC. Okay, so that ROC, when you find, and if you find the poles from the denominator, those poles should lie outside the outermost pole. The ROC should lie outside the outermost pole. Assume that this is your Z plane and this is your unit circle. Remember, this the unit circle, that is the radius of value 1, will be used here in order to indicate the ROC. So this is your real and this is your imaginary part. So according to this, assume that you have 3 poles here, somewhere here. 3 points I have marked it. If you just see, this is 0, this is say 0.5, and say this is 1. So what is the maximum value of the pole? You got it as 1. So your ROC should be outside the outermost pole. The outermost pole is 1. Outside that, if this condition gets satisfied, it means that the system is causal. This is the first condition. Individually, system is causal or not, this is the condition to check. Similarly, individually, whether the system is stable or not, we have certain condition. We have already seen this in convolution. If you remember, H of n is absolutely summable. I think this equation you have studied. When you calculate this sum, it should be less than infinity. You should get some finite number. This condition already you have seen. But with respect to the Z transform, what will be the condition is, the poles should lie inside the unit circle in the Z plane. This just now I have told you, this is the unit circle of radius 1, Z plane. So your pole values should be inside, somewhere here, not here. Okay, poles should lie inside this unit circle. It means that the system is stable. This is the second condition. Now coming to the third point, where we will check both together, stability and causality. What is the condition for this is, ROC must include a unit circle and it must be outside the outermost. That's what, these two both together we should combine, or in one word what we can say, poles should lie inside the unit circle. If this is the case, then the system is both stable and causal. So these three are the conditions. You should remember this. What is the condition for causality, stability, and the third point, both stability and causality. Now, these are just the statements and the conditions. Practically, let us see while solving the problems how we will deal with these conditions. Okay. So let us take the first problem. Determine whether the system is causal and stable. See, this is the third condition. Okay. This third case, both stable and causal. So what we should check now, whether the poles, whether they lie inside the unit circle or not, we have to check. So the given is h of z, it has certain numerator and denominator. So h of z is given to you. You have to go for, since poles are required here, what you do, you take the h of z, you try to factorize the denominator and equate the denominator to 0, and no need to go for partial fractions and all. We don't want any further reduction. The question is simply just to check whether the system is causal and stable or not. Okay, for that we want poles, so we are interested in the denominator you want two factors or three factors, whatever factors you want, so that you can equate the denominator to 0 and get the values. So if you observe the question, the denominator is having a quadratic equation, so you need to reduce this to factors form. So what I have done here, you can just see, I have taken the LCM first. 16 is z square, then divide by 16. Then as the given question has directly z, don't go for replacing z inverse by or something, because directly you have z in the question. So don't go for it. Simply take the LCM. If you just see 16 5s are 80, so you should have minus 80 if you multiply. Then if you add, you should get 16, right? 16. So according to that, minus 80, right? So I think 24 za. You want minus plus 16. So I think this should be plus, this should be minus. Plus 20 and minus 4. You split it. Then take 4z common. You will get 4z plus 5 in the bracket. Minus 1 common. Then 4z plus 5. Two factors are 4z minus 1 and 4z plus 5. Divide by 16. And as you have denominator 16, try to eliminate that 16. How will you do that? Take 4 common here and take 4 common here, so that you'll have z is equal to something. Okay, so if you take 4 common, it's 16 gets cancelled. In the first bracket, if you take 4 common, z minus 1 by 4. Then in the second bracket, if you take z common, 4 common, z plus 5 by 4. Then these two are your brackets. That's what I have written it here after factorizing. Directly I have written, and the solution is here. Okay. Now the important thing is we need to have the poles. So how to get the poles? You equate the denominator to 0. This is your first factor. Equate it to 0. Z will be equal to 1 by 4. Right? Similarly, the second factor, z plus 5 by 4 equal to 0, z is equal to minus 5 by 4. Minus 5 by 4 is 1.25. Okay. Now, why I have written it in 1.25 form? Why not in ratio form? Just to make sure, just to make you understand the value of that pole, it is greater than 1. The condition is poles should lie inside the unit circle. Okay, unit circle. So if I draw a z plane, real and imaginary axis, I will draw a unit circle, means radius is 1. Okay, if now let us just try to mark these 2 points. Z is equal to 1 by 4. 1 by 4 is how much? 0.25. 0.25 is, say, if I divide it like 4 points, somewhere here I'll get 1 pole. Okay, plus, and this is minus 5 by 4. So minus means here in this direction. So minus 5 by 4, 1.25. Somewhere here I will get the second pole. But according to the condition, pole should lie inside the unit circle. But this pole is not inside the circle, it is coming outside. That's why, just based on this, you can just conclude it. Since one pole out of two values, one pole is lying outside the unit circle, the system is not stable and causal. Okay, based on the position of the pole, you will decide the system is causal and stable or not. Let us move to one more problem. Similarly, not individually, together we will just check. If you see, I think you require a calculator here. If you have calculators, please go through it, because I tried doing this manually, but I could not solve it. Let's see, you give me some more time. This is the question. H of z is equal to 1 plus 2z inverse divided by some big numbers are there, 49 by 64. If you just see here, so what we can do, instead of directly going to the denominator factorization, first convert the question into z form, not z inverse form. Till now what we used to do in z transform, whatever question is there in terms of z, we convert it to z inverse, so that it is easy for us to get the x of z. Okay, but however, to get the poles and zeros, we want z form the most, because if you have something like this, z plus something, z plus a, if you equate it to 0, you will get z is equal to directly minus a. So z form we require instead of going for z inverse. Even if you take z inverse, at the end again you have to make it 1 by z, and again you have to reduce it. So instead of doing that, initially the given question you modify it to in the form of all z positive powers. So for that, what I have done, you can just see here, numerator I have taken the LCM. Okay, denominator I have taken, you can just observe the denominator. Here I got some complexity, 1 plus 14 by 4, 1 by z, just z inverse is taken as 1 by z. Then I have taken the LCM. Then if I reduce it, I have got this equation. For this equation, I was unable to factorize it. Just see here, 64 into 49, I should get 3136. If I multiply 49 and 64, I should get this number. If I add, I should get 112. I was unable to do this, but I think you can directly get these values from the calculator. But manually also, please give me some time. I will just make sure that this problem is solved. How to add, if I add, I should get 112. If I multiply, I should get this much. Let's see if I can do it. Okay, but if you check your calculators, if you solve this quadratic equation, you will get the z value, the root value, as 7 by 8. Okay, you have repeated roots, same and repeated roots. So that's why the denominator you can write like this. Numerator will be this, denominator is z plus 7 by 8, because z is equal to, I think you will get this, minus 7 by 8. Okay, the roots are z is equal to minus 7 by 8 two times. So that's why it is z plus 7 by 8, one bracket, z plus 7 by 8, one more bracket. So power is 2 square. So give me some time so that I can try manually. Now to get the pole values, what to do? Denominator, take it, equate it to 0, you will get directly roots whatever you got. Z is equal to minus 7 by 8 two times. Two pole values minus 7 by 8. 7 by 8 means less than 1, right? So this is your unit circle of radius 1. If you try to mark these minus 7 by 8, where the position will be, this is minus 1. Okay, so somewhere here I guess. Here you will be having minus 7 by 8, two values. two poles. And the condition for the system to be both stable and causal is the pole should lie inside the unit circle. Yes, the mark point is inside the unit circle. That's why you can conclude it. The poles are lying inside the unit circle, hence the system is both causal and stable. We are majorly interested in the denominator part because from that we are getting the pole values. Factorize the denominator, you will get the root values, roots, that is poles. Try to mark those poles on the Z plane. You will get the idea whether they are lying inside or outside the unit circle. This is the second problem. Now, going to the third problem. See, this is the question given. H of Z is given. Okay, the question is a bit bigger. You can just see. H of Z is given in this way. We have to specify the ROC. We need to find the H of N for these two conditions. See, here individual conditions will come. Stability and causality separately. So first we have to check the ROC and find H of N. So what you have to do, consider your H of Z, whatever is given to you. So in order to get the ROC and H of N, okay, H of Z is there, we want to find H of N, we require inverse Z transform. So for inverse Z transform, either partial fraction or power series expansion. So obviously partial fraction method directly we can calculate because numerator and denominator powers, if you observe, numerator power is less. So denominator, factorize it. I have already done that. You can observe it here. First 3.5 and 1.5 I have made it like this. Yes, you can see here 3.5 and 1.5s are 35 by 10, 15 by 10, 37 by 2 and 3 by 2. 7 by 2 and 3 by 2. This, take the LCM, divide by 2. So 2 is the LCM. After that, replace Z inverse by some value A. If you multiply, you should get 3 to the 6 plus 6. If you add, you should get minus 7. So how to do that? 6 ones are both minus. Yes. Six into 1. After that, take 3a common in the first bracket, then you will get these two brackets. Then as denominator you are having 2, just to cancel it out, take this 2 common so that you will be left with 2 gets cancelled. You will be left with a by 2 minus 1 and 3a minus 1. That is, take 1. Okay, instead of writing a by 2 minus 1, I will write 1 minus a by 2. So taking minus common. Similarly, for the second bracket, instead of writing 3a minus 1, I will write 1 minus 3a, taking minus common. So these two minus into minus will become plus. So if I do that, I will get 1 minus 3a into 1 minus a by 2. These two are the two factors in the denominator. Replace a by z inverse. Okay. So if you replace a by z inverse, then you will be having these two factors. Then proceed with the normal partial fraction method. See, I have not solved here the partial fraction. Well, you can just go through it, because again what you have to do, take multiply both LHS and RHS by this denominator, so that this will be remaining with only numerator part at the LHS. Then a into one bracket plus b into one more bracket. Just put the different values of z inverse to make a and b 0 at any one time. Calculate a and b values. Here I have written directly a is equal to 1, b is equal to 2. Okay, you can do this partial fraction method, find a and b. Now, how to get the pole values? Because again, for whether the system is stable or not, we need to find. For that, pole values, pole positions are important. So what you do? Take the denominator, equate them to 0. What I have done here, see, first bracket and a second bracket. Both I have equated to 0. I have solved it. I have got one half and the other one 3. Half and 3. These two values I have got as the poles. Now, according to the given question, we have to go for, see, system. First condition is for the stability, second one is for the causality. We need to find both ROC and H of n. So what we will do, first condition for the stability condition. So what is the condition? Just now we have seen three conditions. Shall I just move it? Three conditions. First one is stability. So for the stability, the poles lies inside the unit circle. So according to that, the ROC must include the unit circle, or pole should lie inside the circle. So according to our given two pole values, what are the two pole values we got? One is half, the other one is 3. So according to that, if our ROC is in between these two, okay, in between this half and 3, then the system becomes stable. We have got two different values. According to this, if the ROC is in between half and 3, then the system is stable. Then ROC will include the unit circle also. Just see here, ROC includes this. If I draw like this, and if I mark, say this is your half and this is 3. This is your half and this is 3. If I mark somewhere here, okay, if I mark ROC somewhere here, whether it is including your unit circle? No, you are excluding it. Now, if I mark like this is your half and this is 3. If I mark ROC somewhere here, whether it is including the unit circle comes somewhere here, right? Half, 1 and 3. So again, this is also false. Inside and outside will vanish. So the third possibility of properties of ROC will be, if I draw something like this, half and 3, and if I shade this area, then this ROC is including your unit circle, because this is your half, this is your unit circle, and this is your 3. So if I mark the shaded region ROC in between these two, it is including the unit circle. Hence, this is your ROC in between these two. So for ROC in between, if I take the inverse Z transform, what will be H of n? This half indicates greater outside the unit, outside the circle. Outside the circle means multiply by U of n. So this is your 1 by 1 minus alpha Z inverse. Alpha is 1 by 2. Alpha raised to n, U of n. Why U of n? Because ROC is greater. Now, coming to the second point, less. For third, it is less. Less means leftmost. ROC is inside the circle. Sequence is a left-hand sided sequence. So for this, 2 into 2 have written as it is. 1 by 1 minus alpha Z inverse. Alpha is 3. 3 raised to n. I have multiplied with minus U of minus n minus 1, because left hand sided sequence. Remember here, it's very important, ROC is this, because if this is the condition, then it shows that the it is ROC is including your unit circle. That is the condition for stability. This is for stable. Now second question is, the second sub question is, for causal system to be causal, we need to go for ROC as well as H of n. We have to find ROC and H of n for these two. One we have completed already. Now we have to find the ROC and H of n for system to be causal. Now, what is the condition for causality of the system in Z transform? the ROC must be outside the outermost circle. Outside the outermost. If this is your unit circle, see this is your half, this is your unit circle, and this is your 3. Outside the outermost circle. Outermost circle is 3. So outside the outermost circle. So it is multiplied by U of n. ROC is this, and H of n will be 1 by 1 minus alpha z inverse. Alpha is half raised to n U of n. Then 2 divided by 1 minus 1 divided by 1 minus 3 z inverse. Alpha is 3. 2 into 3 raised to n U of n. Here, this is very important, getting the ROC, because based on the ROC, getting H of n is easy. If it is greater, multiply by U. If it is here greater, multiply by U. If it is less, multiply by minus U minus n minus 1. So this is the third problem which we solved. Now, coming to the one more problem. Hopefully, this is the last problem. Uh, it has some 5 subpoints. If you just see, let me complete this problem. Even if the time elapses, please rejoin so that we can continue this problem at least. What is the question? Y of n is equal to y of n minus 1. Difference equation is given to you. Instead of giving you h of z or individually x of n, h of n, y of n, difference equation is given to you. This kind of problem already we have seen in the previous class. If equation is given to you, we have to go for, we need to find h of z, then poles and zeros. We need to find the ROC, find h of n. See, this one question covers most of the things. So please let us see how to solve this problem. First one, we need to find h of z. So what we need to do, this is the given question. What I have done, all y's I have kept at left side and all x I have kept at the right side. So all y's and all x. Then apply the z transform to this equation. If you apply the z transform, y of n's z transform is y of z, y of n minus 1 shifting property. Your z transform gets a z power equal to the number of times shifted. Then y of n minus 2 is y of z, z raised to minus 2 is equal to x of n minus 1. Its z transform is x of z, z raised to minus 1. So after this, I have taken y of z common in the LHS. Then you will be left with this bracket term is equal to z inverse into x of z. Now, as we want h of z is given by y of z by x of z. So take that ratio. Y keep it here only. X take it to the denominator LHS. If you do that, RHS will be z inverse into this bracket at the denominator. So this is your h of z. Now, further, what is the next point? We need to go for poles and zeros. Now, to get the poles and zero, as I have told you, don't keep your whatever h of z has come in z inverse forms. Try to see. I have tried that, but it was getting very much complicated, so I converted it to z form. Don't keep your equation in z inverse form. Convert it to z and then proceed. It is easier for you to find the poles and zeros. So this is your h of z. So how to find the poles and zeros? First, you convert it to all positive powers. 1 by z at the numerator, denominator 1 minus 1 by z minus 1 by z square. Take the LCM, z square, and numerator 1 by z. 1 z gets cancelled here, and you'll be left with z by z square minus z minus 1. Now you have two ways. One is either to factorize this denominator manually, just a quadratic equation. You can try that, or you have the calculators with you. You can find the roots directly. I have done it manually. What I have done, I have used this formula, quadratic equation. Roots are minus b plus or minus square root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. I have used this formula. You can just see here. Denominator z square minus z minus 1. I have equated a is equal to 1. This is your a. I think this is your equation, ax square plus bx plus c. This is your equation. If you just compare the coefficients, a is equal to 1, b is equal to -1, c is equal to -1. After that, I have substituted all ABC values in the formula. I have got 1 plus or minus square root of 5 by 2. If you use your calculator, solve it. You will get one value as 1.618, one value is minus 0.618. Two values I will get. Or it is like this, z is equal to a. Some value I have got. So what is the factor? Z minus a is equal to 0. That's what I have done here. I have got z is equal to 1.618. So I have taken it to the LHS. Z minus 1.618 is equal to 0. Similarly, the other one. So these two are your factors. So once we get the factors, so this is your h of z. This is the first point. We have calculated h of z. What is the second question? Second sub part, sub question. We need to find the poles and zeros. How to find the poles? First, let us go for zeros. It is simple. Just equate numerator to 0. So if you just see here at the center, I have marked 0 value. Z is equal to 0. Then poles, these two values, minus 0.618 plus 1.618. I have drawn a unit circle first of radius 1, minus, or on the left hand side, minus 0.618 cross mark plus 1.618 cross mark. Cross mark indicates poles. Second point is over. Then going to the third point, we need to go for h of n. H of z is already there. Convert it to h of, apply the inverse z transform. We can get impulse response h of n. Now here, again what I did here, taking the same positive powers I tried, again I got some complicated values. So instead of doing that, remember whenever you are going for finding the inverse z transforms or so, try to keep your equations numerator and denominator in terms of z inverse forms, negative powers. But when you're calculating the poles and zeros, try to put the equations in positive powers. So here, that's why I have scratch marked it. Again what I did, I have converted this to inverse form. For that, I have taken z common in the denominators, z square denominators. One z will get cancelled and I'll be remaining with one z at the denominator, which will come to the numerator z inverse. Then here, this is one back factor, this is another factor. After that, simple. What we need to do, we have to go for partial fractions, apply the partial fractions. No need to explain this I guess. What you have to do, multiply on both sides by the denominator. You will be left with only z inverse at the LHS. RH is equal to a into one bracket, b into one more bracket. After that, what I have done, you can just check out. What is your first bracket? A into 1 minus 1.618 z inverse. Now how to decide this z inverse? This value should get cancelled. For that, what I have done, you have to take 1.618, 1 divided by, these two gets cancelled, 1 minus 1. So put this for the first time. Next time, what is B bracket? B bracket is 1 plus 0.618 z inverse. This is your B bracket. So I should cancel this with a negative sign. So what I can take, z inverse can be 1 divided by 0.618, that to negative. These two gets cancelled. This negative sign will come here. 1 minus 1, 0. I will get B0. That's why if you see here, z inverse values, I have taken these two. If you just solve it, you will get A and B. H of z will be A and B values divided by that. Okay, two factors. After that, finally, h of n, how to use it, how to do that. See, this I have taken it as it is. 1 by 1 minus alpha z inverse. Alpha is minus because here it is plus. Minus 0.618 raised to n u of n, causal system. Then second, 0.447 as it is, 1 by 1 minus alpha z inverse. Alpha is 1.618. This is your h of n. Now finally, for the system to be stable, last point, for the systems to be stable, whatever we have calculated just now, h of n, this should be modified. For the stable system, just now I have told you in the previous problem, if this is your half, this is your unit circle, if this is your 3, in the previous problem we have seen, if ROC includes, okay, this concentric, two-sided, then only ROC includes your unit circle. That's why when you have two terms, 1.618 and 0.618, your ROC should be in between these two. Then only it is possible for the system to be stable, because that time only ROC can include unit circle. How? Let's see here. If I draw this as say 0.618, this term, one root, then this is your unit circle. Next time, this point, say 1 point, this value, 1.618. If these are the three circles in the Z plane, if I shade ROC here in between, then only this ROC has included your unit circle. Otherwise, it's not possible. If I draw three circles like this, and if I shade outermost part, it is not including this unit circle. If I draw three circles, if I shade this inside part, it is not including the unit circle. So the only best possibility is to have something like this, concentric ring. Then only unit circle and ROC both are getting covered. Okay. So this should be the condition for ROC. In between your two roots, whatever you have found out, alpha values, 0.618 and 1.618. These two should be the values. Now, if these two are the values, for 0.618 it is greater. Hence, whatever I have got it here, 0.61, I have written the same thing, h of n. But for the second point, since ROC is lesser, this should be changed to minus u of minus n minus 1. Remember, this is lesser. For greater part, I have written as it is. Okay, both h of n's, if you see, this part is same because it is greater part. But for lesser part, the second half should be changed, because second half has u of n. It should be changed to minus u minus n minus 1. You can just see here. So finally, this is your h of n for the system to be stable. Fifth point, and ROC is in between your two alpha values. So I hope this problem is also clear to you. So today we have discussed two important properties, stability and causality, with respect to the Z transforms. Major conditions are mainly we are focusing on the poles. Mainly we will find the poles. Remember, whenever we calculate the Z transforms and inverse Z transforms, we focus on Z negative powers. But when we find poles, we should try to convert or modify our equation in terms of positive powers. Then